Hey, hello, and welcome to The Unstoppable Singer. I'm your host, Danielle Tucker. I am a singer, a vocal coach, and a lead singer with the Mighty Untouchables band. The Unstoppable Singer is a live interview style show where I follow the lives of real life professional singers, and these singers have made incredible achievements in their lives and careers. We talk about the challenges and triumphs that come with a career under the bright lights and learn what being unstoppable looks like for them. So if this sounds like something for you, then stick around. I'm going to jump right in and introduce my incredible guest today. It is Deanna Colón, and she is a singer, songwriter, international vocal coach. She graduated from Berklee with a bachelor's in music business and management and a minor in songwriting. Shortly after that, she moved to New York City, began being hired as a vocalist for studio, live, and jingle gigs. She landed a top 3 Billboard Dance hit with her song Higher. And over the years, her professionalism and talents led her to be called upon by greats like David Foster, Diane Warren, and many others for lead and background vocals. In 2014, Deanna was a contestant on season 8 of America's Got Talent. She has sung background vocals for Dirty Heads, Daniel, Skye, Nick, Jonas, Celine Dion, Lea Michele, Justin Bieber, Havana Brown, Paula Abdul Cassie. Her singing and songwriting can be heard in over 200 film, TV, and ad placements. In 2019, she appeared on Fox's MasterChef with Gordon Ramsay. And in July of 2020, she launched her inspirational self-love body positive company, Chica Apparel. And this company was inspired by her song, I Am a Masterpiece, which is a self-love anthem Deanna wrote in 2013 and released in 2017. So we've got a lot to talk about. Let me get her here. Deanna. Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, evening, whatever it is.
Yes, we don't know what time it is.
We don't know. Oh, man, it's so great to see you and meet you virtually today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. So much fun.
We're going to have a great time. I thought we would just jump right in and kick things off. I usually like to talk about what's your year in review. We're kind of just kicking off 2023 right now, wrapping up 2022. How did 2022 go for you, and how's 2023 starting off?
Okay, well, 2022, I feel like, we're all kind of just getting back from this pandemic.
Right.
So I felt like 2022 was the year of, I call it the planting year. Right. Mm-hmm. The last 2 years, kind of everything stopped, which for me, I love the Unstoppable Singer thing because it didn't stop me. It actually threw me into overdrive with at-home recording and working remotely vocally, and also growing my vocal coaching business, which moved internationally during the pandemic. So actually the pandemic for me was like kind of, I don't want to say it was a blessing, but it was a blessing. And I had to call upon other talents, which I can't wait to get into with you, because I think that is what makes a successful singer is wearing lots of hats and wearing them well. Yeah. But anyway, back to the question. So for me, 2022 was like, okay, people are getting back, restrictions are being lifted, but I mean, it was a great year. Absolutely blessed, so lucky, did so many wonderful things, shot a commercial, singing, I did these Big Lots commercials 2 years in a row where I was singing and dancing, and then hadn't done anything big like that for a while. And then in 2022, towards the end, got cast to be the lead of a commercial. Can't talk about it, but it's coming out soon. You will see it. I will be annoying you, for God willing, the next year. Singing and dancing across your screen about something. And that was exciting because all of my talents got to get called upon again. So we'll be seeing that this year. And then I also just booked and landed a SAG commercial for something as well. And also a SAG song in a new movie, I believe, starring Jane Fonda. I don't even have all the details, but they called me. I recorded it remotely, got it done, and sang it in Italian. So that's really fun. But I mean, overall, the beginning of the year, amazing. I'm teaching full time, about 40 students all over the world, and recording remotely. And then, which we'll get into as well, continually filming content for my show on TikTok, which is called Go Fuck Yourself, which culinary fork. I said fork. But also too, I am like in February, I'm going to be going to cook and host at a big event at the A up in Washington with Robert Irvine and Alex Guarnaschelli and Antonio LaFaso. And if those names mean nothing to you, okay, but they're huge culinary beasts in real life, in restaurants and on network. So, you know, what I think what I'm so proud of is I do so many things. I actually have friends that are like, okay, what can't you do? Seriously, like you're killing us. But I think that is me, and it's my personality, is that like, that excites me. That excites me, having all of these different hats, wearing them well, and not knowing what's coming next. Like, that's thrilling. Like, I don't think I could never do a 9 to 5 where it's like, it's the same thing every day. Right. I couldn't. And I know you relate to that, because that's why we're creatives. Like, we're creatives because we have to create. And whether it's on stage or in a studio or on a plate, I'm a creator.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love it. I mean, to me, it's a huge inspiration when I see other professionals out there that have chosen so many lanes, but lanes that they're exceptionally great at, you know, to live a life where every day you're doing something that you're passionate about. And yeah, you've got such variety in your life, but you have managed to really meld a lot of these things in your life. And so one that we kind of talked about ahead of time is, tell us about the TikTok channel, which is cooking and singing. Yeah. How did that go down?
Well, you know, what's funny is that it kind of developed. I've had people for years being like, Deanna, you've got to get on TikTok and you've got to be consistent with kind of one thing. You can't just regurgitate anything on TikTok. Like, it works where it's just like the music industry. They want to kind of put you in a box and put you in a niche and get your fan base. Okay. So it took me a long time to figure out what the hell that is, because I'm also a comedian. I'm an actor. I was like, can I be funny? Can I throw up funny stuff? Can I throw up this? Can I throw up that? And it was just like, no, you really got to kind of focus on one thing. Okay. So I had a friend who's a big, he's a giant in the music industry. He's always been a fan of mine. He's like a big brother to me. And he was like, hey, do me a favor. He was like, I think October, he was like, just kind of get something together and put it up. Lies. That's not how it happened. I did the A Wine Fest. I not only cooked at it, I also sang at it. Okay. And I was up there with Manit Chauhan and Cartier Brown and Joe Sasto, these huge chefs, Rocco DeSpirito, who I grew up on. Like, it was major. Yeah. And while I was up on stage hosting, I would like break into song for the audience. And it clicked to me, oh my God, that's my thing. Cooking and singing. Right? I was like, do it. And they never know what's coming, and it's all entertainment. So what I told people when I came home is like, I'm like, if Rachel Ray and Kelly Clarkson had a baby, give me a show.
Yes. Yes.
And then I'm like Lizzo or like Nicole Byer thrown in. Like, I'm just a bad bitch. I'm all those bad bitches in one. So yeah, like, love it. You know what I mean? Whatever. So I came home and I told my friend Eric, I said, okay, I think I've got it. And I showed him what I did. And he was like, yes, that's it. He's like, there's your show. Like, that's your show. Get it on TikTok. They'll come running. The masses will come. I was like, okay. So I started it and I did it, and literally tried to keep it 3 minutes. It's like 3 to 5 minutes, because I sing and I talk and and you can tell I overshare. So I'm an oversharer. So of course it turns into freaking 5 minutes. But anyway, I formulated it, and I'm not kidding. From November till today, I have grown. I started with about 100,000 followers because I had been posting stupid stuff that was getting me, and a couple went viral. But from November till today, which some people are going to hear this number and go, who cares? But for me, I was amazed by the growth. I went from 100,000 followers to I am almost at 300,000 followers in 4 to 5 months. And so my, you know, what I'm projecting is like, okay, D, if you stick with this, you keep going, in a year's time, you could be at 1 million. I already have brands hitting me up. I already got a cookbook deal. I didn't take it. I put it on hold. But I mean, I've got brands hitting me up, paying me or sending me things and paying me the whole 9 to put things up. I've already got a cookbook offer. and then other things that are transpiring from it, shows and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, so I'm just biding my time. So what I do on the show is literally I cook a dish, any fare, Italian, Chinese, Hispanic, you name it.
Mhm.
And then I break into song, usually singing into a whisk or a wooden spoon or a knife, which is dangerous, but I do it. And I break into song, everything from Celine to Adele to Whitney to Aretha to Mariah, you name it.
Uh-huh.
And I did share the other day, and 300,000 followers later, almost at 300,000 followers, and people are responding, and the comments are wonderful. And then I end every video with my mantra, which is a whole other side of me, but something I'm so passionate about. I always end every video with, I am a masterpiece, you are a masterpiece, and this fried chicken and grits is a masterpiece, or this scampi is a masterpiece.
Mhm.
And I end the videos that way. And I have become, for this audience of people, I go on with no makeup on. Honey, this is like the best I've looked in weeks. I'm not kidding. I go on in my pajamas because they're relating to me because I'm real. And Danielle, honestly, like, I do not give a, you know what,
Mhm.
everybody thinks of me. And this has come with my age and my maturity, is like, I don't care what you think of me. I want to relate. I want to be real. I don't want to look plastic. I don't want to look fake. I'm not a fake person. I get in trouble for that sometimes because I'm really honest. The great heart, I'm really honest with how I feel and how I talk and what I say. And if I piss you off, I'm sorry, but would you rather I lie to you? I would rather people who tell me the truth, you know, and then explain why they feel that way. So maybe I can understand them. And I think that's kind of what's missing in the world. People say something, everybody jumps on them, beats them up. And it shouldn't be that way. Everybody should get a chance to say something and then be like, actually, what I meant was, let me explain. I'm not into cancel culture, unfortunately, or fortunately. I don't buy into it. And I try to keep things, you know, I really look at my videos, as I'm sure you do, before you put them out, make sure there's not going to be anything offensive. But you know what? I still might say something offensive or something that rubs somebody the wrong way. And I hope that I can explain my heart. So long-winded, but there's the whole TikTok. Oh my God, girl, we're going to be on this thing for like 4 hours. I talked to
That's okay. God, I love that so much. You know, you're setting such a great example for everyone too, because it's just, that's so much what we need more of in the world right now. And I think that the proof is in the pudding, right? Because not just a few short years ago, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 years ago, getting your content on social media, online, YouTube, anywhere, we were all shooting for like perfection, polished, as high production value as we could possibly go, investing tons of time and money. And now the truth is, people just want to see real, live, raw stuff now. That's what attracts them. You know, I think people are just sick of, you know, fake. They need something real that they can sink their teeth into, that they can find some kind of grounding in, that they can relate to. And it sounds like you nailed it with what you've pulled together on TikTok.
I mean, I just thought of myself. It's like, I can't relate to Beyonce or J-Lo because they're a level of beauty I will never attain. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. There's just, you know, they have access to things that we don't have access to. You know, they have the dietitian and the fitness person and the hair and makeup and the wardrobe and the this and the and, you know, the procedures and, you know, just things that we don't have. So it's like, listen, I have to talk to and I always want to be this person. Like, you know, I pray my mantra for this year, for 2023, is to go global. You have heard my name, you've seen my face, and you have heard my voice. You don't know because I've been on hundreds of jingles and all kinds of, you know who I am, but you don't know who I am.
Right.
And here, I want to put the name to the face. And I have my mantra for this year, my vision board is behind me, is to be absolutely global. And I believe that I will get there this year. And I want to be that example. I want to be that woman that sexism, ageism, the body. Like, I watched Lizzo last night on the Grammys, and it was like, I could cry. I'm welling up thinking about it. Like, fuck, man. Like, when I started, I wish that this acceptance existed because I believe that I would be where I want to be today. But I always heard, you can be in the background. We're going to put somebody else in the front. You can,
Mhm.
we're going to use your voice, but just don't get pissed off. We're going to have this other girl, like, you know, Milli Vanilli you. I can't even tell you.
Mhm.
And it sucks because now I'm 49. I'm very open with my age. I'm going to be 50 this year.
Mhm.
Very proud of that. And I want to be an example to men and women and children. I am an example to my students. I tell them all the time, you have to believe in yourself. You cannot give up. You cannot let your weight, how you look, your sex, the color of your skin, your age, anything freaking stop you. And I have to tell you, Danielle, at 49 years old, I believe I'm about to have the best year of my fucking life.
Yes, let's go. I love that. I believe it too.
But I
I
believe
believe
in
it too.
me so much, and I really believe that, and I believe that, like, God is making a way, and I've planted and I've planted, and I've been a late bloomer and everything in my life, from loving myself to getting married. I got married at 41 for the first time. I have a wonderful husband.
Mhm.
Just I've denied the odds. People have counted me out my whole life, and I'm
Mhm.
still going, and I'm still going because there it is. I believe in me.
Yeah.
And the minute you give up in you, the minute you don't believe in you, the journey's over. And
Yeah.
it won't be over till I take my last breath.
Yeah. Yeah. You're making the space for it to happen. You're not putting up roadblocks for that to happen. You're allowing it into your life.
Yeah.
And that's that's how we get that flow of goodness going in our life when we want things to go, in our direction. But
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you're incredible. I love you so
Oh,
much.
thank
And I,
you.
I love the example that you're setting. And I wanted to touch on the point you're making about just body image and where we're at
Mm.
as a society right now, watching Lizzo and just how she's just absolutely worshiped in the public right now. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. But, I, like you, growing up in this profession, always felt that way too, where it's like, I've got a good voice. So I know, like, I've got that on lock, but I've always been a full figured woman. And that's always been like, just growing up in the day and age, I think that we started in it wasn't, we were always given the message that, well, that's going to be the one thing that holds you back, and I always kind of had that feeling like, well, I was just kind of sliding by, I was just getting by, and I had to hang everything on my, musical talent, and that I would be acceptable enough, but always had that really like weighing on me. But now I feel that we have just, we've got a long ways to go, but as a society, things are beginning to change. And at my age, I'm 44 now. Of course, I've also reached that with my own revelation. Like, I just don't care anymore. And frankly, very happy with who I am, how I look and how I feel in my skin, and, proud of who I am. But I'm also seeing this come out in my daughters. I have 8 and 10-year-old, and my 10-year-old, she and her little girlfriends were over this past week, and they were talking about her thick thighs and how thick thighs save lives. And I was just like, I love this. And they were just so positive just
Oh my
about
God.
themselves.
And I was literally, I've been on a diet since I was 8, seriously,
Yeah.
7 or 8. And I was always curvaceous. I had boobs, small waist, booty, thighs. And I grew up in a place that did not, honey. They just did not. It was very white. It was very white.
Mhm.
And I live for that. I love that. I love that you're, and listen, I always say this, nobody is born with lack of confidence. It is learned. So
Yes.
your daughters are watching you, and you are leading by example in how you love and respect yourself and claim yourself. And you're like, like all of that. It's going to keep going. And I'm so glad that we have that. And I mean, I respectfully stand back and say, I hate the fact that somebody might look at me and think, oh, she's unhealthy. Like you said, Lizzo is worshipped. Have you been to her comments? Because she is worshipped and demonized at the same time.
Right.
And
No doubt about it.
I mean, there are people that are so hateful and horrible and ugly, and they
Mhm.
really get off going on and saying all kinds of horrible things. I mean, the woman's a friggin' vegan. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
but I mean, I go to my doctor every single year. I'm very big on the yearly things that women have to do. And And I stand there and I'm like, listen, doc, when they advise me, oh, it'd be great if you could lose 40 pounds. And I'm like,
Mhm.
listen, I've been on a diet my whole life. And what I'm going to do is every meal, try to eat as healthy as possible. But I'm also at the point where if eating chicken and broccoli for the rest of my life, because that's what I have to do to lose weight, by the way. I've done everything. Carbs do not like me. I need to eat strictly protein and veggies. I need to work out like a dog. And I could be a size 8. I could if I did that. But it's not going to happen because I refuse to eat that way, to look that way for what? I am a healthy person. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, if you go downstairs right now, like I've been making me and my husband immunity shots with wheatgrass and turmeric and ginger and lemon. And we take a shot of it. Like you'd be surprised. You open up our cupboards and there's not preservatives. That's my thing about cooking too. I want to know what's going in my food. I want to know what's included in my food. So with all of that, I have been very careful with making sure like, no, I'm sorry. Like I'm not buying into that just because I'm heavier, I'm unhealthy. Truth of the matter is it is all genetic based. You can believe that or not. Your genes really dictate what kind of a body that you're going to have, and that's what it is. Oh geez. All right. I'm so sorry, girl. We can pick up wherever.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's funny that just happened because we're coming back from a pause now because something was burning in the house. I was going to ask you, you are wearing so many hats. You have so many things going on. Obviously that's a lot to manage. And I find that like something I kind of shy away from producing content for, TikTok or, Reels, because I just think I can't take on another thing as much as I'd like to. Yeah. But how do you manage these things without losing your mind or burning down the house? Or do you just...
I'm not. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So I am, my husband will tell you that I get done in a day what some people get done in a week. I am OCD. I am so schedule driven. Everything from like, okay, I've got to do my makeup for this interview. I've got to like, not even kidding, literally how I plan today. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are full teaching days. I'm starting late today, but I usually start about 8:30 or 9 and go till about 8 or 9. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I also teach 2 groups. I teach a church group and MCs down at a karaoke bar. Okay. So I teach 2 groups in addition to all over the world, online and in person. During the day, so I sometimes get up early in the morning to film content. If I have a break during the day, if somebody cancels and says, oh, I'm not going to do my lesson today, I will jump on, do a TikTok live, or I will make something, or I'll start dinner, or I'll start filming. Generally, what I find is that I film the content for the show as I'm making dinner for my family that night, which then I'm going to go back and continue teaching. I mean, it's crazy. And then Thursday and Friday is I kind of leave as my admin days. I do a live. Both of those days I shoot content. Both of those days I run my errands. Both of those days, the apparel business. I mean, like all of that other stuff I kind of do on Thursday and Friday. And sometimes I have a session. Sometimes, and by the way, the schedule is totally movable if I get called for a project because, right?
Because that's what you
do. And what I try to do is leave Saturday and Sunday. I'm not kidding. I will not teach. I have parents and students being like, oh, can I have a lesson on Saturday? Yes, but you do not want to hear my rate because my rate that's what I charge, for me to teach you. I always say Stevie Wonder or Jesus. It used to be Stevie Wonder, Prince, or Jesus would have to call for me to work on Saturday or Sunday. Now, unfortunately, it's just Stevie Wonder or Jesus would have to call. It has to be a big thing for me to work on a weekend, but I try. And that's how I balance it. I try to leave my Saturday. I won't lie to you. The last 2 Saturdays, it was me, my husband, and the 7 dogs on the couch. I was spent. I've been going nonstop. And I work a lot. I don't really have a social life. I'm going to be honest, beyond my husband and our animals. We try to go to the dog park once a week and all of that. We're really into animal rescue. That's another thing that I'm very big in. So we have 7 dogs, most of them seniors, and we try to get to the dog park. I mean, I'm not going out with friends. I'm not like, oh, let's go have a girls' night out. I'm not really doing that. And honestly, a lot of the time I say no to it because I don't have the energy.
Yeah.
I just don't have the energy. And
Yeah.
you know why I'm grinding so hard? Because now is the time. I have to. I've got this audience. They're paying attention. I've got to make sure I have content every day. The demand is here for my vocal students. The demand is here for vocals being recorded remotely. I have a manager and an agent who are constantly, that's the other thing. I'm also auditioning through all doing self-tapes, going to live auditions. So there's a lot going on. And what I do and what I tell everybody, even my own students, I'm like, if you don't schedule it, if you don't get it on the calendar, it won't get done. Yeah. So get it on the calendar. But I'm a huge multitasker. I'll go downstairs, throw load of laundry in. I'll order from Instacart. I'll do this, and then I'll teach a full day with an hour for lunch and an hour for dinner. And that's all. And sometimes I even cheat myself out of that because if I have a student that has an audition and they need, hey, I need to, do my lesson with you prior to my audition, I forego my time sometimes for my students. So scheduling is a big thing. And also really having a boundary to what I'll say yes to now in my life. Oh, let's go do this. Nope, I'm not interested. Have a nice day. Nope, I want to stay home and sleep. And I will. Yeah. And I just don't work weekends unless it's imperative. And it's a really important thing that I have to do. Other than that, don't talk to me. Saturdays are, and we work on weekends. Don't get me wrong. My husband and I will do things around the house or whatever, but it's in the house. I'm not leaving the house. I'm not going to do anything unless, like I said, at this point, Jesus or Stevie Wonder calls.
Yeah. I respect and admire that so much. And it sounds to me too, I mean, you obviously, you are a woman who knows what she's doing, knows what she wants, and you are kind of, you're willing to put in that time and that grind and bust ass like that. And it just sounds like you have the attitude to go with it too. I mean, a lot of people would be like, oh my God, I'm absolutely, they feel it's a burden on their life to work at that kind of a pace. But if you're thriving within that and you're meeting the goals that you have, I mean, I think it's wonderful. I think it's great. And I love that you say that now is the time, and if you feel that in your soul and you're just naturally motivated to do those things, I think you've got to listen to that voice that tells you that.
Yeah. And the other thing too is like, if you have a momentum, you have to keep it going.
Yes.
Right. If you have a momentum, if something's working, like you have to keep it going. Like if I stopped doing Go Fork Yourself for a month, the algorithm would miss me. The people would be like, where'd you go? Like whatever. So it's like, you've got to keep doing your thing. You've got to keep going. Listen, if I have this goal of being global and people are like, well, what do you want it to be? Like ultimately at this point, I just want to be a global personality. I want you to call me to host the Grammys. I want you to call me to judge on a food cooking show. I want, the networks to figure out like, oh, we need this cool, relatable woman to be on here and take Ellen's spot. Like, I would love that. Like if I could have a show, the ultimate dream right now would be if I could have a show on primetime television or anywhere where I was cooking and talking and hosting and making it like an overall talk show. But you know how sometimes they have the talk shows and they have chefs come on and they just stand there and go, oh, really? Like, I want to like literally be like, hey, my guest, like Danielle, come on, we're going to go cook in the kitchen. Yeah. I would love to do that. And I would love to merge all of it. Like, I love it. When I saw Kelly Clarkson's show, I said, that bitch has my life. The bitch has my life.
Yes.
My life. You know what I mean? She's doing what I want to do. I want to sing. I want to host a show, but I want to go deeper. I want to be cooking. I want to be talking about the things that I advocate for. Like, I literally want to have like a body positive segment. I literally want to have an animal adoption segment. I want to have a cooking segment. I want to have a singing segment. All of that. And I want it all to be loving and inspirational. One thing that Lizzo said last night that I loved, I have a tattoo here. I love God. And it's Prince's handwriting. I'm a huge Prince fan. Huge. Yes. And after he died, my husband and I went to Minneapolis and did a whole purple weekend and did everything. And I got this tattoo for my birthday. And he used to sign everything, Love God, Prince. And this is his handwriting. You should have seen the guy doing this. He was like, oh my God, one wrong move. It's not his handwriting anymore.
Right.
This guy who does like massive art installations on people was freaked out about that. Right. But anyway, what she said last night when she accepted her award, she said, I'm going to dedicate this award to Prince. because when he died, I decided that I needed to be the voice of positivity and bringing things to light and all of that. I don't know if you heard her acceptance speech, but if you didn't, go listen to it. Everybody go listen to it. And she decided that through her music, she was going to spread love and positivity and the things that we need more in this world. And it's like, when she said that, exactly what she said, I went, oh my God, that's me. Like that's me. Like, let's just be loving. Let's be kinder. Let's be more empathic towards each other. Like, let's just like, let everybody do them. That's the whole, I mean, it's right behind me. Like, I am a masterpiece. Like, you can absolutely be a work of art, and you can be a work in progress and an absolute masterpiece at the same time. I believe that you can be both at the same time. The Mona Lisa did not become a masterpiece when she was done. She became a masterpiece from the first stroke of the pen, you know? And I love that. And so for me, that's where I want to go with all of this. Like, I want to touch people's lives. I want to make people better. I want to make people believe. I'm a giant advocate as well of mental health. I talk to my followers on TikTok all the time. I check in on them. I post videos, encouraging the suicide 988 line, telling them that they're not alone, that I'm here for them. I have people DM me. I answer them back, you know? I hope that I always have the ability to answer them back, because I've created friendships and I've kept people around. And I'm okay saying that. I've had students that wanted to end their lives that have texted me years later and said, you were the reason I didn't do it. Thank you. You made me hold on. You made me believe in myself. You made me stay here. And thank God I as well I am an advocate because I'm a survivor of it. I, at one point, did not want to be here. I'm not embarrassed to sit here and talk to you. And hopefully the people watching hear what I'm saying, that there was a period in my life where I really questioned my purpose, why I was here, and I wanted to check out. And my animal actually kept me on this earth, believe it or not, my dog Lola. And people think I'm crazy when I say that, but I didn't care about my mom or my dad or my brother or anybody who loved me. I went, who's going to take care of my dog? Literally the reason I didn't do it. Besides that, I'm a chicken shit, but that's a whole other thing. I really, really was very depressed and put myself into therapy. And it's the best thing that I've done. And I'm a giant advocate of therapy. I think everybody should be in therapy.
Amen.
Everybody needs to talk about how they're feeling. I think everybody needs to be heard and understood. And I think that's what we're missing. People are talking about the guns and they're not talking about what's really important, and what's really is the mental health of this country and of this world. And I think it's very sad, and I'm going to say this, that it is easier to get your child on a drug than to get your child therapy. And I know that because I know parents that I've talked to. Remember, I'm a vocal coach. I've talked to parents that say it is easier to get my doctor to write a prescription for a mental drug than to get my insurance to help me pay for therapy for my child who needs it. I see red flags.
Yeah.
That's horrendous. But yet we want to blame everything else. You know, sorry to get deep.
Yeah.
But it's real. It's real. And people see smiles. I was, you know, when Twitch passed away, oh my God, he's the happiest guy. He's always smiling. He has everything to live for, his kids, his wife. He's so beautiful. He's so talented. He's so whatever. Smile, smile, smile. I related to him. When people were like, we don't understand. I don't understand how we could have done it. I did. If you had known me during my period, you would have never known. Oh my God, Diane, so happy and joyful. And she's the life of the party and dying inside.
Yeah.
And dark and dying and felt nothing and had no self-worth and no self-love and didn't want to be here. So I related when people were like, we don't get it. It's like, and be thankful you don't get it.
Yes.
And thankful that you've never been in such a dark place where you can't see even a tiny little beam of light. And thank God that I could see a little beam of light, hence why I'm still here.
Yeah.
But I'm a giant advocate of that. And you know, the other thing, Danielle, this is important that we talk about this on this show, because in this business where we're constantly heard no more than we hear yes, we are rejected more than we're accepted. Okay. It is so hard. We have such FOMO because we want to be Lizzo. We want to be J-Lo. We want to be Adele. And it's not happening. So we feel we failed.
Right.
But you haven't. You haven't. And there's different levels to stuff. I wanted to be the white Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
I did. I wanted to be Whitney freaking Houston. I was like, I want to have, and that is not what has happened. I can't even talk right now yet. But but it will. And wherever God sees me, wherever he puts me, that's where I'm supposed to be. And it's like, and it's okay. And maybe I don't reach that level for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But regardless, I live a thankful, beautiful, grateful, abundant life. I want for nothing. The only thing I want for is my own personal desires and thing. But I mean, if it stopped right now and I just cruised where I am at, I'm okay. I have aspirations. I think we all do. I think that's the journey of life. We have aspirations, but it certainly isn't to be popping bubbly in a club with all the people I just talked to. You know what? I've been there. I've done it. I could care less.
Yeah.
I want to make a meal, look at the ocean, serve it to my friends and family. That's success to me. I want to be able to go, oh my God, you need something. Let me take care of that for you. That's what I want to do. I want to rescue and save every animal. I want, you know what? I want to make sure no kid goes hungry. I want to make sure that there are not homeless people on the street. Like if I ever got to that point of more money than I could ever dream of, rather than buy a jet or these things that people are spending their money on, you know, dressing their kids in Gucci head to toe, like really necessary. Just give me a break.
Right.
You know, it's, you know, fame comes with the capitalism, and it's like, okay, I want all those things, but I always tell my TikTok followers, fuck around and make me famous. Watch what happens.
Yeah.
Make me famous.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do so much good with it. And you can, and I've said this on more platforms than I can imagine. So y'all can hold it against me if it ever doesn't happen. But I'm going to do good. And I believe that that's why I'm here.
Yeah. I believe you. I believe you.
I believe that I've had to go through all of these trials and tribulations, all of these close calls, right? I mean, the list you read of the things I've done, anybody that would hear that would go, holy shit. She's a very successful woman, right? It's like, but I've never like exploded, made it, right? Yet.
Yeah.
So that is the goal, because I think somebody like me, and I think somebody like Lizzo and Kelly Clarkson and these women who don't look like that and aren't like that and whatever, are the relatable people that are going to go out there and be real and touch people's lives and make them believe that they can do it too. And they can. But I'm sitting here telling you that it is hard work and time and dedication and professionalism and showing up and doing the job better than everybody else. One thing I can tell you as a big girl, there's nobody that's opened a door for me and helped me. Yeah. Because I was hot or they wanted a chance at me or whatever.
Yeah.
I had to work harder than everybody else. I've had to prove myself my whole freaking life. It's okay. I'll take it. I guess that's my journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the grit that you develop along the way, you know, needing to do that is, you know, it projects into so many other areas of your life that, you know, we don't really even acknowledge a lot of the time, but you're a beautiful woman with an incredible vision. I absolutely love where you're going, but I have to know where you are coming from. So take us back, just like, how did you get started? Were you coming from, what kind of family did you come from? And what led you to be this force to be reckoned with that you are today?
My parents got married. My dad's from Italy. My mom, my grandmother, I literally have her card of the steamship she came to Ellis Island on. So first generation Italian, born in Boston. My mom and dad met at 14 and 16, got married when they were 19, 18 and 20 or 19 and 21 or something crazy, had me like a year later. Hardworking, salt of the earth, would take the shirt off their back. And when I say hardworking, I need to bookend it with hardworking. I think where I learned what you're saying is directly from them. They were not easy on me. I learned work easy. I learned to work early. I was working in the restaurant. We owned a restaurant, hence where the culinary talents came in. If I wasn't working in the restaurant, I was cooking in one of the two kitchens at home. We had two kitchens, one upstairs, one downstairs. Don't ask. It's just, and my mom had a beautiful voice, but I did not come from a musical family. I did not come from like, oh, her dad was this and her mom was this. Nope. Dad was an immigrant, didn't graduate college, literally graduated high school. That's how they did it in Italy. Went into an apprenticeship, whatever. Mom, high school graduate. That was it. Nobody went to college. That's why getting a full scholarship to Berklee College of Music was a very big deal. Yeah. I got a full ride to go to that school on a crazy happenstance that happened. But we realized that I had a voice early. My mom and dad would be at the restaurant 13, 14 hours a day. I was a latchkey kid with my brother, basically raising my brother at home because my parents were busy working. I would be downstairs after chores were done and homework was done and everything was done. They'd be at work for the next 3 or 4 hours. I'd be downstairs in the basement with a roller brush, singing along note for note, Whitney, Donna Summer, Patsy Cline, Barbara, you name it. Loved Connie Francis, would literally sing those songs. Skeeter Davis. I mean, like some real stuff, but really Whitney was like oh my God. And I'd be downstairs with my little karaoke machine and doing every riff and every run. Then my mom was like, she's really good. And we heard about this karaoke contest down at a local restaurant. And I would go down and girl, it got to the point where when the other people saw me walk in, they were like, oh shit.
Never mind.
I did everything. And then I started like recording a little demo and we sold it at Tower Records and all of that. And that got me to Berklee, which I think really popped me off. So I was putting money in a meter. I was 16 or 17. And this man walked up and he was like, oh my God. And I was practicing what I was doing because I was recording across from the school, had no idea the school even existed. And he came up behind me. He's like, wow, you have a beautiful voice. And I was like, oh, thanks. He goes, oh, do you go to Berklee? I was like, what's a Berklee? I don't know. What are you talking about? Put money in my meter, dude. Like, I go back to the studio. He's like, oh, you're at the studio? I was like, yeah, I'm a singer. He's like, well, you don't go to Berklee? He's like, no. He's like, well, do you want to go to Berklee? And he asked me how old I was. And I was like, I think I was 17 because I was driving by myself. So 17 or 18, 17. I was still in high school. Was I? No, it was the year between. Okay. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, he literally was like, hey, take my card. You should audition for our 5-week program. It's during the summer. Maybe I could get you a scholarship to it. I did that. I had no idea what was happening. But during that 5-week program, they scout. And they called my name at the end. They had this big blowout concert. They called my name. I went out on stage and they handed me a 4-year scholarship. I had no intention of going to college. I came from 2 people that went to college. I had 2 people who did not believe in giving college or an institution money for a music school. And Berklee, really, that was it. That was it. I began my songwriting career at Berklee. I got my first film and TV placements. I got experience singing behind major artists. That's what it was. And then when I graduated Berklee, I looked at my mom and dad and said, I'm moving to New York City. I'm doing this. And I moved to New York City. Literally, I graduated in September, finished my internship because I was a music business major, finished my internship at Polygram. Do you remember Polygram? Yeah. Girl, I had a Polygram, left my internship and literally moved to New York by myself, was supposed to move with a girlfriend. She pulled out. I said, I'm still going. Moved to Victoria, Queens, and network. I started doing jingles. I met the whole dance community, David Morales, Frankie Knuckles, Hector Romero, Hani, Lord G, all these huge DJ people in the dance music world, Ultra Nate and all these people, and ended up doing a record with David that I co-wrote. And it went top 3 to the Billboard charts. And I was touring the world, singing Ibiza, Spain, Italy, you name it. People were, and then producers from all over the world were calling me. We want to do a dance record with you. And that opened up my whole dance career. So it was crazy. So I'm in New York for 10 to 12 years doing songwriting, doing demos for people singing, writing myself, dance records, jingles, had some major jingles. Acting, auditioning for Broadway. I was up for the lead in Hairspray. I did not get it. But I mean, spent my time there. And then I would go on writing trips to California, to LA to write. And I would literally not want to leave because I loved the weather and loved just the vibe and the positivity. And it was so like, woo, hang loose and all of that. I remember calling my mom from the airport and like crying, being like, I don't want to come back. And she's like, well, then move. And she regretted saying that because she was mad when I finally did. But I moved and I spent 12 years and, I'm in LA. I'm in LA doing my thing. And it was like, And that's when everything snowballed. And it really was a matter of like working and networking. I mean, I was writing 3 sessions a day at one point, staying up till 3 a.m. So it was like the work never stopped. And then commercials and like on-screen commercials where I got these commercials back to back for Big Lots. They were amazing. I sang and acted in them. And for me, that was huge because you don't see a woman like me singing and dancing across your screen. And I did it. And then America's Got Talent. America's Got Talent happened before Big Lots. That was also a huge major thing. Being able to do that and have that experience. I mean, again, like if I could pinch myself with the gratefulness that I'm telling you that I have. I just went through pretty much my entire career. I mean, and we could get more in depth if we had 3 more hours, but I mean, for everything I fought, for everything I believed in myself, for everything I didn't look the part. And you know what? I'm still doing it. And I'm trying to constantly remind myself and use this as my mantra as well. That is, what is for me is for me. You know, what is for me, nobody can keep me from. And the things that have happened in my life, I believe were like ordained, like that is for you, Deanna. Do it, but you. And I know that there's more of that to come.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, clearly you epitomize the unstoppable singer. So I'm going to close us out by asking you, what makes you unstoppable?
Absolutely the grace of God and my belief in myself. By the way, I'm not a Bible beater. I know I've said the word God a lot in this, and a lot of people get like, oh God, she's one of those or whatever, which again, I find it funny that somebody would ever condemn something as beautiful as having a belief in a higher power. But I do the grace of God. I wake up every day by the grace of God. These talents are God-given. I never once am like, oh, it's all me. Like, no, it isn't, honey. He giveth and he taketh away. And I'm not a Bible beater. I don't even go to church, but I have a very, very strong connection. And I believe that God is wherever you put him. And that and my belief in myself. And I believe that that is also from God. Like I truly believe in myself. I truly love who I am. I truly think I am worthy of all of the things that society is telling somebody like me. You're too old. You don't deserve that anymore. You're too fat. You don't deserve that. You're too whatever. Honey, living my best life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think what everybody out there needs to do is stop worrying about what everybody else is doing and worry about what you're doing. And really get your mind right, because people don't understand that the subconscious mind is so very strong over our entire being. And I really work on making sure that my subconscious mind is speaking positivity and light and truth and seeing the glass half full and never glass half empty. And those 2 things, to answer your question, is what makes me unstoppable. I'm not stopping. I'm not giving up. You can check back with me in a year or 2 years. Let's see if anything that I've said in this interview is real and has happened. But I believe it will be. And I would love to be that person that you have back and you're like, well, holy shit, D, you know what I mean? Look at what you've done. And I want to be that example. I want that little girl who isn't the size 2, or that little boy, you know, who isn't the size 2, who has the dark hair and the olive skin, who doesn't fit in, who isn't this epitome of beauty, and you can believe that you can be and do anything you want to do in life. You just got to believe in yourself, and you have to put in that work. And I believe it will happen. Yeah.
Oh my, well, we better just put that follow up on the calendar now, because I have no doubt in my mind that we will find you there in that place. I absolutely know that. And I feel so inspired and energized and fired up. I feel like I need to like jump off of here and go do something now. You've just like, your energy is just infectious, and I love it so much. I'm so grateful that you'd come on and talk to me today, because I can't wait for this audience to hear you. You know, you're really, you breathe such wonderful life into the world. And I love that. And I thank you for that. Thanks again for coming on today. Everybody, please check the comments and show notes for links to Deanna and her social media and TikTok, of course. Go and consume all of her goodness, and we'll be checking back with you, but I'm going to let you go do your thing.
Yeah, beans burning. I have to go. They're burning. I have to like fix them now. I don't know what I'm going to do. Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you so much. Such a blessing to be here with you today. Thank you for having me, Danielle.
Thank you. Good night.